Hello guys, I rewatched our impressive victory against Ajax and tried to make an analysis video out of it. If you like this kind of content, please hit the subscribe button and the like button and let's begin. First of all, I think we did something really well in this game, and that was to win the second balls. As you see here, for example, Leroy Sané, he sees that Ajax goalkeeper is going to play the long ball and he's the first to react on it, and Singo is heading it down to Leroy Sané, and we can start again to have the possession. We were really good on that in the first 30 minutes. Another thing, I think Leroy Sané played a very good game, and that is that we have some extreme players to keep the possession. For example, here, many players would have cleared the ball, try to dribble and miss it, but what Leroy Sané is doing here is to come out of 3 Ajax players, and then he's trying to create the overload there to dribble. As you see here, the Ajax player is following him, so he can't make that 5 versus 4 with the Galatasaray players, but still he can play it to Salah, and we can start an attack. That's incredible from a position where it is supposed to be that Ajax is going to push and push us, but we have a player like Leroy Sané who can dribble us out of that danger, and we can start to build again. That's so important. It's also another player, Singo. It's not the exact same situation, but as you see here, he gets a very difficult pass from Davinson Sanchez. The ball is bouncing and the Ajax player is really close to him. He's chesting it over, I think it was Guts. And see here, now we can begin to play again. It's just so valuable to have these kind of players. And I think what also Galatasaray did very well was to keep the possession and not attack with too many players, as we have done before. And it's been a huge problem before because Ajax waited on that. Their coach, who is sacked now, Heitinga, said that they need to keep the ball before the game, but they clearly wanted us to attack and then counter on us, or go in their trap in when they try to play out. I will show that later also. Another thing with Wilfred Singo, I could take many clips of him this game. He played very well. He did some mistakes also. I think it was a bit lack of concentration sometimes. Maybe his physical form right now, because he just came from an injury. So it was sometimes he lost his mark in back behind the defense, but in overall he was brilliant. As for example here, look what kind of player we have. As you see here, it's Wilfred Singo following that run, but it's also a player behind Wilfred Singo, which we can't see right now, but I will show it. But as you see here, and he's reading it, that Ajax tried to make a 2 versus 1 there, and making the life so much more easier for a player like, for example, Davinson Sanchez also. And from here, again, we have the possession, where it would be normal that their winger would have gotten a ball, gotten into a 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2 against Singo and Davinson Sanchez. But these kind of things happen rarely when you have a player like Wilfred Singo and our defense player like Jakobs, Davinson Sanchez, and so on. And as you see here, this was the first 30 minutes. This was in the 24th minute or something, I think, where we had 95% passing accuracy, which shows that we were really tactical in this game. We didn't want to attack and let Ajax counter on us, because that was their plan. And I think we did that very well in the first 30 minutes. And we created two huge chances. One, where Osimhen is 5 versus 1. Osimhen is just an incredible player. He's just how he's touching it with his chest, chipping it with his foot, and then shooting. I want to say this because in the pressure, it's not like he's just this man who is running. He's also very smart in the pressure, and he's showing it here also that he's very smart. He sees where the ball is coming. If he had not been smart in this position, he would have tried to head it, go in a duel with that Ajax player. But he sees that the Ajax player can't reach the ball. So therefore, he's just waiting, and he's so smart. Osimhen, I think, is a very smart player. But after the first 30 minutes, we started to struggle a bit, and in the whole game, actually, I think this was one of Ajax plans. It was to, as I see here, they tried to overload on. I made a circle around 4 Ajax players who are trying to make 2 versus 1 with our wingers, and as you see, there are 2 highest players, the central players. Is difficult for Davinson Sanchez and Abdul Karim to go out there, because if they're going out there too early, it is a huge space behind our defense. And as you see here, we are coming late in the pressure because they are creating an overload on Leroy Sané, and they are falling so deep that, as you see here, Davinson Sanchez is a bit in between in the pressure and creating a huge space for Ajax here to win that second ball. And with a bit more quality, they could have came to a huge chance here. Look here in the space behind the defense. But Lemina interrupted it. He played a very good game. It was so many players that played a very good game, and Lemina was one of them. And you know that we are struggling when Torreira did this in the 34th minute. He's just a tactical smart player. He knows that the team is struggling. Yes, he's tired, but he sees that we are struggling and that Ajax are attacking and attacking. They didn't create any huge chances. It was one chance that was I would call 50-50. It was a chance. I can't say something else. Because after the 30th minute, Ajax started to get momentum. As you see here, our pressure was all over the place. We didn't have pressure on their player who got the ball. And as you see here, when they don't have pressure on a player who's got the ball on our half, it can be dangerous. And as you see here, their right winger is totally free. They are coming to crosshair and look at 2 of their players outside our 16. The thing is, when these things happen, both Lemina and Torreira are struggling to track back. It's not their strengths whatsoever. And they got to a big chance here, actually. I think not a big, but it was a chance where they could have scored if he had hit correctly. So Okanoja changed. He changed in after the first half. He took out Gabriel Sara. Gabriel Sara, I don't think it was that bad, but he tried very hard. But I feel like in this position he's struggling a lot. So with the pressure and with the ball and everything, he's too rarely facing his body towards the opponent's goal. He's getting it and doesn't get it in, dangerous positions, which you would wish for a 10 player, where he's playing at the moment, getting it in the final third, where he can play Osimhen through, where he can play Sane through, or the wingers, whoever. He was good against Başakşehir in that role, but that was when Ilkay also played there. They switched a bit on, and Ilkay is a player who can find him easily. But with this lineup, it's very difficult. And we started with Barış Alper as a 10 or a striker with Osimhen, and we still struggled in the beginning of the second half with our pressure, as you see here. When you're pressuring the goalkeeper here, Barış Alper, it's very difficult for our midfielders as well to have a good pressure, because it's like a domino brick who is falling. When the pressure starts weakly up front, it will just continue on the midfielders, on the defense, and so on. So as you see here, Barış Alper is pressing their goalkeeper, and of course their center back is totally open. So what? And with the ball as well, we struggle a lot. Our plan was to play behind and try to stretch Ajax a bit and find Barış there. We didn't succeed on that either. So Okan Hoca changed positions with Salai and Barış Alper. I think that was one of the things that changed the game, if you can say that. As you see here, this is just a small detail, but this is something even Gabriel Sara struggled with in the first half, was to take out one of their central midfielders. What Salah is doing here is to block that passing way, because too many times they also get free there in the first half when Barış played there, when Gabriel Sara played there. I saw that Salah took more responsibility in that role. He showed with his arms where our pressure was. You need to press there, and so on. And he helped. He was one of the three in the midfield when we were in a low block as well. He helped Lemina and Torreira. So I think that was very important to switch that, because it clearly didn't work with Barış Alper, and Barış Alper showed later in the game that he's more offensive threat as a winger. But before our 1-0 goal, we won a second ball. We tried to hit the long ball. Torreira won the second ball, and then he tried to play Osimhen behind the defense, and then it went in the air again where Salah was, and we had overload with more players to win that second ball, and Lemina did that, and he played a great ball out to Leroy Sané, who crossed it perfectly to Osimhen. One thing is Osimhen's movement here. He's coming on the center back's blind side, and again heading it, and is saving us. He's just don't say 100 million euros. For me, he's not worth anything less than Isak, if you ask me. So he's just a smart player as well. He's so physical, but he's also so smart. This movement is just showing how smart he is. Again and again. So yeah, on the second goal, it's a throw-in from Jakobs before our first penalty, the 2-0 goal. The worst thing you can do against Barış Alper, I said this before, is to try to have body contact with him. This shows that Ajax poorly had analyzed our players, I think. Because against Frankfurt, they didn't want to have any body contact with Barış Alper. But look at Barış Alper here. When he got body contact with a player, he can turn them around. And as you see here, now, good luck to Ajax. And again, Osimhen is moving behind the center back, and they are fouling with a hands there, and it's a penalty. Before our 3-0 goal or our second penalty, I made a video about Wilfred Singo before he came to us. I'm a bit proud of that video actually, because I said something like, I don't want to brag too much, but I said that it's not only pace and strength with Wilfred Singo. It is how good he is with the ball as well. He can alone dribble past the pressure. And as you see before our second penalty, look here, he gets the ball, dribbles his winger, creating an overload with Leroy Sané, plays it into Leroy Sané, and we get a penalty from Barış Alper. So it was just, yeah, fantastic done by Wilfred Singo. I think we played that. It shows that Galatasaray are showing something we haven't seen in, not in Okan Hoxha's era, I think. People would say Ajax is a bad team, blah blah blah. I watched Ajax against Inter. They played very good against Inter, especially in the first half. Ajax, okay, they're not what they used to be, but they're not that bad either. So to say that, yeah, it was a weak team, we held a draw against Dynamo Kiev last season. We played 2-2 against Riga, lost against AZ Alkmaar. This tactical switch with Okan Hoxha to be more patient, to not attack with every players, to not every time press in our high pressure, because we switched that a bit as well. It was a bit late. I won't say lazy pressure, but it was a bit between sometimes. But we didn't go out with all of our defenders either, which we would have done last season, where, okay, the pressure is bad up front, but we need to go as well, and then, yeah, it's 50 meters space behind you. We still do it, but not in the ways we did it before. So, yeah, I'm really proud of the team. I'm proud of Okan Hoxha and the players. And, yeah, great victory. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and the subscribe button, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.